Welcome to Spirit Sessions, a view of the light. Come on in with us, grab your tea, coffee, water, whatever you're drinking today. Come on in, smudge a little. Feels so good. We're always calling on Archangel Michael, and we have our own angel here at Spirit Sessions. I don't remember her name, but she is a part of this, and I always thank her, and she keeps me out when I'm naughty. So, no, but she's really fun to work with. So, anyhow, welcome to the show. We're going to have so much fun today. We have our teacher back. We have Emily, our heart, our beginning, our Alpha. Emily. Oh my God. And then we have her friend, Bill Homann, who has his friend, the legendary Crystal Skull. So come in and join us today. Welcome, welcome. Emily, tell us some of the big things that have been happening in your life. I've been seeing cool things.
Wow. Oh, you put me big. Well, first, I just want to say how much I felt the energy of that introduction. And sometimes, just to be perfectly honest and frank, it can be a lot for me to hold the energy of what's been created here. When we talked about 5 seasons before we came on, and to remember just all of our humble beginnings together and how we've grown. I got so excited, Teresa, when you talked about the wait, that's hard to say. Spirit Sessions angel that's here. I so
Yes.
felt that presence. I got very excited because that for me feels like a substantial mark of your all's growth around here, to welcome an entity like that into this space. And I'm just so proud of each one of you. So, to answer your question, it's been pretty exciting. Not only this past year have we welcomed Bill Holman and his friend, the Mitchell-Hedges Crystal Skull, into the family here at the Akashic Academy, and Bill's been joining us along with the skull going into our vortex immersion adventures. But the 3D world is beginning to recognize the importance of this work, and for a long time, the Akashic Records and really creating space to cultivate our intuition has been too esoteric for many. Even the scientific community, much of the scientific community has not given the weight to this information, and it's time that this information that has been kept from us, this secret knowledge that has the ability to return our sovereignty, that it's time for this knowledge to be released on a massive worldwide scale. And I believe that that is why a lot of the attention from the outside world is happening right now. And I've been blessed and honored to be featured in Entrepreneur Magazine for the work that we're doing, taking visionaries into the vortexes with the Crystal Skull and doing this high-level mystical work, again, that has been hidden and suppressed on our planet for eons. It's time for this knowledge, this technology to be returned to the planet. And of course, all of our mutual friends here and a fantastic filmmaker, Ruben Langdon. I had the privilege of being interviewed for an episode of Interview with Ed, which is in season 3. This is a phenomenal show that brings awareness to the beings, the interdimensional support that we have, and how it's coming alive through channels, through humans on the planet as we're reconnecting. And that was an honor and privilege to be a part of Ruben's legacy, as well as the next phases, which will have a documentary release that follows Bill and the Skull and his adventures. And I just feel really blessed to be a part of that experience. I'm so excited to be present for the unfolding of 2022, because as more and more of us are experiencing the turning on of our DNA and ancient knowledge and wisdom and opportunity to support each other through this process is becoming part of our environment. It's becoming part of how we're aligning ourselves and living on a day-to-day basis. The power and the wisdom and the gateways of opportunity that we will open to bring in the new earth will be like nothing we've seen in 2022. So I'm excited.
Rhonda, you're muted.
Oh, good. I'm glad that I was like,
I muted myself, so I'm
yeah.
sorry. Rhonda Elliott here, speaking to you all. The reason we should probably identify ourselves all is we're now on a podcast. And so we're podcasting this as well as our lives so people can take it out. This is just a step forward. That all the things that you've given me, Emily, all the encouragement, everything I learned when I went to Mount Shasta, all the ways I could expand, it's just culminating here. It's like, just take the leap. Like, you can't fail if you try.
There's no
You
failing.
can only learn things. There's only learning extra things, right?
Right.
And just keep pushing the buttons till something works, as long as it's not the nuclear button. But yeah, so no, that's what we find. And meeting Bill and the Skull and being able to see his other team was so expanding. And meeting Ruben Langdon, we found that so exciting as well. Those are some of the episodes that we put on our past year's podcast. We started out just doing a season one, which we cherry picked some of our ones from our thing, and just the ones we could access easily. Let's just be honest here. But Bex Marie, Teresa, and myself, Rhonda, have been with Emily for 5 years. We've known her for 6 or 7 years now. And Bill, we met last year. And so it's always so nice to start off the year with a whole bunch of friends. And Bill, I want to ask you about your expansion since you've met up with Emily, because it seems like you're going places and doing things and even getting on the show and learning the new old technology. It's what I like to call it for you, because you've got like quantum leap technology in front of you. But I mean, it was a struggle at one time for you to even get on to these things. Now it's like, okay, I just need a little help, boom, and I'm on, right?
It is getting easier, and for sure, but a lot of it is the timing and the time we're coming into. And that's why 2022, just because of everything, the way it's lined up, there's so much more available to all of us on our inner self. And people are coming to understand that and connect to it. And, I do the work here because it's my way of helping people and help to connect them to their inner self. Their inner self is their true power. And coming back to our true power of who and what we are is the primary thing we're here on the earth to do. So at this time, with this happening, it's really, really exciting to see, as I go around, people connecting and opening, because when you're your full self, then you have the ability to give to all of us. And there's nothing better. You can say, I want to have this or have that, but the most important thing we're here to do is generate and work with love. And that is what's coming through from the masters and everything right now. It's like when end of your life and you're being judged and you say, oh, I swam the English Channel and I did this and I did that. But it all comes down to love. What did you love, and who has loved you, and how did you connect to this love? Because universal love is a word that we're coming into more understanding of, because in this society, love has kind of been, the word itself has kind of been broken down to just a physical thing. But universal love for all mankind and all life forms, and coming to that understanding that we're not separate beings. We're all connected with everything. And when we come into that connection, it's such a beautiful thing that we can do. And that's what's happening right now. And finding who you are, becoming who you are, and bringing that in the world, it's an exciting time right now. And people are waking up. They are getting ready, and they are ready for this. And as light workers, like you're doing and you've been doing, you're opening up these seeds to these people, and the seeds are starting to grow. And these little seeds that you put out, and it didn't seem like it was doing anything, and this person didn't seem like he even accepted at all. He got really mad or something. but truth is truth. And when truth goes in, it starts to grow, and the person in themselves know what truth is. And so that's the work you have been doing, is planting these seeds. And now at this time, we have all the light workers doing this, and the seeds are coming to fruition, and we're seeing the changes that are happening, and people connecting and bringing the most important thing is this universal love through. So I'm very glad to be here, and I'm glad to share, and it's what it's all about, isn't it? And it sure is fun.
So you guys are going on another adventure shortly. Did you want to describe that? I know it's sort of describe what happened on the last time you did something similar to this, and what you hope to accomplish this time, and what you learned, maybe.
Oh, goodness. Each experience is different. There are some similarities, and I'll talk about what those similarities are. The similarity is really a chemistry or an alchemistry of creating the right environment for quantum level, what a lot of people would probably consider mystical level expansion. There are things that happen in the vortexes that are still relatively unexplainable with the modern physics that we use. We need quantum physics to explain a lot of what happens. But the first key to creating an opportunity to literally jump a timeline, to come into a new dimensional version of yourself, a new evolved version of yourself, and then begin to embody that, it requires the right environment. So we want that vortex energy. That's why we go into places like Mount Shasta, into Sedona. And this will be our next adventure, is going into Sedona and harnessing the power of these vortexes. It also requires a very high level of consciousness of the beings that come with us. So while we do have some space available on this next adventure, I'll be honest with you all, it's a very exclusive adventure. Okay, it's very, very important that the level of commitment and responsibility that has been already harnessed or taken on by an individual be well cultivated before you step into an experience like this. I wouldn't necessarily call this a beginner's experience, because what happens on an experience like this is there's a powerful convergence of timelines. And in the vortexes, because the piezoelectric energy of the land itself, and then the intention of those who are coming and calling forward an experience, because that energy is so high, we transform very, very quickly. And as a responsible mentor through this process, it's only appropriate to usher those who are ready for a very high level of commitment and stepping forward and holding a frequency to be invited into these experiences. So we take a lot of care to make sure that our people are ready, and also to really invite a reflection process for each person who applies for this, to really go deeply inward and get clear about what it is that they're here to do, and really get clear about that level of commitment. So once those energetic pieces are in place, what we've created is a sacred circle that invites the highest level of experience and transformation. Each experience has its own unique signature and consciousness that comes forward. And this is also based on the timing galactically of what we're experiencing, and the collective consciousness of those coming forward to experience the event. So once that energy has been set, I tap into the records and then begin to download what the specific protocols, what the ceremonies, what the training is going to look like. Now, I knew that in this experience in Sedona, I wanted to take people through the master level training of the Akashic Records, my core training. This is my unique genius. I wanted to be able to pass this along to beings in the vortex, because so far I've only taught this online and in person, and a couple small workshops. This is going to be a very big immersive event where I'm excited to even see what the ripple effects and how doing the work in this way is going to increase the potency of this legacy, this technology of the Akashic Records. I will also tell you that just this morning, I reached out to one of my my brain master, who is a divine being, Tanya Fuller, who is an incredible shaman, and she's going to help craft very, very special ceremonies. So this morning, like when I was in the shower, protocol and ideas and framework were coming in, and my guides were like, all right, hand this over to Tanya now, and Tanya's going to craft the sacred ceremony and initiation that will bind this energy within our beings. And so I can tell you from my experience and being the visionary behind this, I know that the energy's gotten too big. I can't show up and create all the pieces, right? So we've got Bill and the skull, and they bring their own unique channeling and transmission that's needed for these high-level masters that are coming forward in the moment. And then I get to call in other genius light workers who are very gifted and connected at weaving interdimensional experiences. And it's this beautiful coming together of master level genius ceremony and training that I believe is just going to absolutely change and innovate what it looks like to study in the mystery school dynamic. We have Ruben and his team that will be there to film and to capture what happens. We always do CE5, which is calling in extra dimensional interaction, visceral interaction, to return to that connection with our galactic family. And so we invite forward those experiences. And then there's an awful lot of playtime that happens too. Bill was a newbie. Bill and the Skull were a newbie coming to Mount Shasta and immersing in that experience. So I'm really excited as Bill continues to travel with me and as we create together, because Sedona is set to look actually very different than how Shasta was, because of the nature of the ceremony and the initiation and the deep inward personal work that is done. In Shasta, we focused a lot on mission and understanding what our vision was and calling it forward and writing it together within the morphic field, the dodecahedron of the planet, using the Akashic Records to illuminate this and to consecrate it in the field. Sedona is a deeply inward journey that once we truly understand love, self-love, and we reconnect this within ourselves, this is the next point of power that we need to open up creative genius, to open up our ability to create at will. And like Bill talked about as we were coming in, as he was bringing us into this conversation today, love has been incredibly distorted. And just what happens in our body when we say or think about that word, we've lost the connection with this integral point of power. And so by traveling inward and understanding the self, know thyself, understanding why we've chosen the life lessons, the timelines that we have when we take the time to extract the most value out of what we've learned, our superpowers begin to grow immensely. And this trip is really about bringing back into harmony all the areas where we've judged ourselves, where we've shamed ourselves, where we've moved out of that central point of alignment and power.
I was going to put Bill on the spot, and I don't know if you guys want Bill maybe to do. I love you, Bill. If you wouldn't mind doing a short meditation for us with the skull, if the skull sort of maybe demonstrating what you do with the skull. Sorry, I've got to move my people around here. Sort of like what you do at these events with people, If you have a short one that you can do for us
Yeah,
with
well,
the skull.
I'll do it.
If
Yeah,
the skull wants to do it. I know,
There's-
because
Yeah, the skull, one of the things it does very well is the meditations. And it does that because there's a 90-degree turn inside the skull that takes people very easily from the third plane up into the higher plane. So when we meditate together, it's very easily to get into the deep states of meditation. So I find that really neat and very interesting to be able to help people that way. So what I'm doing is I listen to the skull and I follow there's a connection in there that kind of guides me around to do this different work, taking it around to the different places, working with Emily, and she's working on this very special high level energy that works very good to work together, because the people she brings together are people that are ready to open and connect. I can connect the skull in different ways. It works on a very importantly on a one-on-one thing, and that is it mirrors the inner self and kind of opens people up to their the real side inside themselves, so they can connect to that easier. Sometimes it may turn their life upside down if they have been going in a path that's not to their best good and their happiness, because the true happiness is being your complete self. And when you listen to that voice and you follow it, everything falls into place, and it's everything. You think, oh, you worry about money, you worry about this, but if you follow that, it's a very everything is taken care of by the higher forces. So, and I see that so much, and so that's one of the things that give me great joy to be able to do it. Another thing, by going with Emily to these places, because I do go to various places in different parts of the world with the skull, because it's here to connect these energy fields in the earth and help open up the energy of the planet, not only physically on this planet, but in the different planes too. So it's here as a helper for mankind. And they say, the legend says the skulls come out at a time when the world needs help, and we're right at that time right now. So it's a matter of don't think but act. Just go with the flow, and it takes you on this really exciting adventure, a very neat adventure. I could probably write. I'm supposed to write books about it, but I'm too busy to go and write. But that's what it's about. So it's my blessing to be able to share this with you. And if you'd like to get yourself in a comfortable position, and as you do, just kind of concentrate on your third eye and just concentrate on breathing, slow, deep breaths. And every time you let out, just let all the stress out of your body, and just feel, as you breathe in, feel the love and light. Feel the love and light. And the connection of the skull, you'll feel it right in your heart as we work with it today. We're all together. And I connect the north, the south, the east, and the west, these energies coming together, bringing in the masters, the teachers, the guides, all that want to be with us today in this meditation. Be with us now, I pray. And I take the divine fire of protection, and I surround us all with it and feel the energy coming in. Now the skulls, the legend is 13, and the skull connects very easily to wherever the other skulls are, because that was what they were made to do. So as we sit here, I'm connecting the other 12 skulls, and you'll feel the light coming in. Now, as you concentrate on your third eye, bring from the Creator. The Creator is working so close with us now. It's wanting this divine energy to come into the earth. So just let it flow down, flow it into the skull, into your crown chakra. And as you look down into the earth, deep into the earth, you can feel the mother's great love, and bring that love up. the mother's love for all life, and for you, your family, friends, the whole world coming into that love. And let the love surround the male, female energies coming together. Now, from the skull, just feel this beautiful white light shooting into your heart. Your heart is your power. Your heart is your power. Open up your divine heart. Let the light flow in. As it flows into your heart, you can feel it flowing out your palms of your hands. You can see it coming out. And you can take that light now, and I want you to go with to any one of your family, your friends, or anyone you know that needs this warm, healing light. And you'll be able to dissolve the negativity, any black spots, anything that needs to be dissolved. Send them the light, send them the love. Go now. Now, as we come back together, just let this light expand, and bringing it up, and feel yourself going up higher and higher, going with the light, going with the family, coming together, your spiritual family. As you come up, looking out over the whole of the earth, let's just send out this sunset pink light. And as you share it and send it out, you can see it going out around you, around the world. Just let that energy go out. You can feel the divine energy of the masters working with you, helping you send this light. Send it now. So now I'm going to bring us back on the count of 5. 1, coming back, feel the energy coming back into your body. 2, feel the energy going out your fingertips and toes as you come up. 3, feel the love. Share that love. It feels so good. 4, you're almost back. And 5 has been counted now. At any time you feel ready, open your eyes, come back, coming back. God's love to all of you. Connection between the other skulls open now. God's thank you to all the guides and masters who've been with us. Thank you.
Awesome, Bill. Thank you so much. Thank you, Skull, so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the love to the, sending the love to the world, because the world is ready for it. They're wanting it, and let's send that love out. So yeah.
I think it's what the world needs now, right?
That song is it's right in tune. It's right now.
Yeah.
So thank you all. Thank you. And thank everyone.
Hey, Bex, have you got some questions there for Emily? You'll have to unmute yourself, darling. Yeah,
Do I have questions for Emily? Are we talking about the questions?
Emily and Bill, the skull. Yeah, if you've got questions for the skull, he answers you later on.
Right.
Remember,
That
Carol?
was just beautiful. That was amazing. And I'm very excited to see, to hear more about the Sedona, adventure that you guys are coming together to create. And I can't wait to hear about how it goes and, all of the amazing downloads and everything that you guys get to experience. It's going to be such a blessing for everyone who gets to be a part of it. And I look forward to hearing about more that you guys are going to plan together, because I know this is just the beginning. I feel like this is going to be a really powerful year for coming together. A lot of beautiful collaborations are happening, and, anchoring in, universal harmony and love is just going to be a really big theme this year. It's very exciting.
Yeah, so awesome. I'd love to be able to go if they'd let me out of the country.
It's coming. Just be patient.
I am. Maybe I can just join your CE5 when you do it. That would be fun. Virtually.
Yeah. Teleportation will be available before too long, Miss Rhonda.
Yeah. Well, I kind
I'm
of
jumping
teleport
on that.
Don't we kind of teleport now? I think I kind of
do.
teleported during that session. I don't know about you guys. What do you think? What do you think? You're muted. If you got a question or two, you always have some good observations.
Well, yeah, but they're all weird. That what we did with that med bed when I was trying to hook up with you guys when we tried that trial, it's quantum technology, and I tried to astral travel to where you guys were, and there was an aspect of you guys that were there, Ron and Bex, that was really cool. So somehow today when we were doing the meditating and we're sending the pink energy all around, yes, I was sending it to the 3D earth, but suddenly the earth of all potentials opened. I don't know what else to call it, but everything that we really wanted, I was sending energy to what was already there, and it was like the weirdest thing. And then I could feel parts of us activated in that area, wherever it is. Emily, do you know any of that?
Yeah,
Awesome.
I feel you. I feel like I feel like this will also give us an opportunity to anchor in a little more of the conversation. Like, I feel like I promised people part of the conversation that I didn't deliver yet, which is about the importance of returning to love and how that this has been distorted, right? What I fully experienced, and I've felt a lot of Bill's meditations, that was incredibly powerful. Something different activated in me when you talked about connecting all of the skulls, Bill, connecting all of us together. And it was weird. It was like my mind wanted to figure out where we were positioned in the sacred geometry of that connection. And then all of a sudden, I just put us in the middle. And I was like, oh, there it is. And I felt it instantaneously wherever these skulls are, like we were in the middle and connected with that. And I feel like what I was able to experience and feels synchronous with what Teresa described was a glimpse of that energy, that love energy, which is what will be the gateway. And when Bill talked about the skull will mirror, what I want to invite everyone to be aware of next, because we had an incredible activation, is where your shit's going to come up that is directly blocking you from being back in that state of love, unity, self-love. It's judgment. It's, where are we in judgment of ourselves or subtle subtle criticism of others? I realized that about myself. I took my kids snowboarding, and not everything was smooth operations in the resort. And I found myself identifying their problem and vocalizing the problem quite readily. And it wasn't until later and upon reflection, making dinner, and I'm like, Emily, why are you so critical of everyone around you? Because that's not really like, it's weird. When I go out into the world and I'm being provided a service, I get really, really critical if it's not up to par. And so I had to hold myself in question, like, what is that about? And I realized, oh, I'm deeply critical of myself.
Well, it's all lessons. It's all
lessons, right? And I'll be perfectly honest with you. You know, it came up in Ruben's interview that I'm so excited to be released, but part of me is I'm a little nervous, and I'll be super vulnerable with you all about what this process looks like. We started out this interview talking about how far we'd all come, and the early times when Bex and Teresa and Rhonda were in my beginning class with other amazing light workers, a lot of whom you all know and have continued to grow. But we've all continued to grow and to step more and more into our mission. And yes, that looks like cool galactic things like, hey, we got a great retreat where we're going to call in CE5, and hey, we've got the crystal skull, which, by the way, is the most powerful piece of quantum technology on the planet. It looks like being acknowledged by Entrepreneur Magazine and having opportunities to be on Ruben's show. But you know what? There's a human journey behind it too. And you all see the growth and evolution. When I look back at some of the old footage and some that even Ruben's captured, I'm like, Emily, why didn't you blow dry your hair? It's so stringy. What's with the soccer mom jeans? I got all nice and dressed up for you today, right? But I'm learning and growing and evolving and stepping into, how do I feel the best when I show up? And what does it take for me to do that? And there are points along the way when it was just like, yeah, just get out of your way, Emily, and show up. And that really helped me. But now I look back and I'm kind of like, why didn't you brush your hair? So these are all of the different levels from microcosm to macrocosm that the growth happens. And I guarantee you that if I don't find a way to learn to accept myself and love myself through this part of the next process, then I'm not going to be conditioned within my own internal energy to be seen. And when anytime that we are on the edge of what feels comfortable and safe, we're challenged in how much we feel safe being seen. And that comes all back to self-love. So see, we're all growing in these areas. And thank you for just like letting me illuminate and share that personal story and like those different octaves of experience so that you know exactly like what this looks like. But you're going to notice the areas coming up after this experience that may feel trivial. It may feel very 3D, but that's where the work is done. So lean in and begin to see all of the places where you haven't loved yourself, or you've distorted love, or where you don't have healthy relationships with love, with the love of money, with the love of self, with the love of others, with the love of your life, and being in awe of every moment. Okay, I feel complete on my monologue there. Thank you.
Everybody, because we had some bounce back. But yeah, Bex,
Yep,
you have some questions.
Are we really doing the questions? You said not to do the questions.
No, you don't have to do the questions, but I want your questions.
Oh, no, I was just going to say that's so perfect, because that was a big thing that came up for me this past weekend. Like, as we were transitioning into this new year, it was like my awareness of self-love and what I really truly believed self-love was versus what it really is was so not, I wasn't in alignment with it at all. You know, I'm very critical of myself and very we're our own worst enemy, right? That internal voice we have that just judges everything, and really trying to shift my perspective on that and be able to, like, even, just starting today, like while I'm in the shower, like talking to myself lovingly, being supportive, appreciating myself, appreciating my body, which is like, for me, that's a foreign concept. So I'm really diving into it. Like, okay, this is going to be uncomfortable. But if we don't take that step, if we don't start, and even if it feels like you're lying to yourself at first, like, it's just starting the process. Mm-hmm. And soon enough, you start to really embrace it. And it's not so much about anything more than your internal, your journey within really starts to reflect more on the outside, and all that beauty that you already have, and all of that wisdom and knowledge and and experience and everything that you've kind of just been doubting and holding back on really starts to shine bright with, you know, around you and in your journey and your experiences and everything. And so like for me, that was just huge that you were saying it that way. And I was just like, okay, yeah, this is my confirmation. Like, let's go, let's do this, because you know, this is, if we don't love ourselves the way that we truly deserve, we're not going to be able to really show up the way that we're needed. So
thank you for that, Bex. And I just want to point out like one little nuance of space that I found in there, because this exploration, it actually did come from a self-judgmental statement. I said to myself, Emily, why are you so critical to everybody else out there? But instead of judging myself, yeah, Emily, you're such an asshole to everybody else out there. Why do you keep doing that, right? I got curious. I said, why do you do that? And as soon as I got heart-centered curious, why do you do that? The flow, because you judge yourself. And then this whole ping of conversation back and forth between myself and the records and the pristine level of information that was flowing through. Like I literally had to stop cooking dinner and go journal some of the aha moments that were coming in, because they felt really incredibly profound. But it's that getting curious rather than judging yourself.
yeah, I love that. And that makes it's a much gentler process, right? It's instead of saying like, why do you do that? Why do you look at things that way? Why do you choose the things you choose? Why are you in this situation? Your curiosity is way better. Absolutely. Ask yourself the questions. I love that. Thank you.
You know what? Okay, this is fun too, because it's literally the same question, right? Why are you doing this? Versus, why are you doing that? It's all acting. Get my subtext. See how I got to show up with a completely different subtext on each one? Same script, different subtext.
Yeah, it's all about inflection, right?
Yeah.
I love that. Powerful.
Personality.
Yeah, good stuff. Thank you so much. Go ahead, Bill.
Yeah, I found something interesting. The fact is, you know, we are spiritual beings, and we're here on this physical plane as a learning thing, and we chose to be here. And you know, we've been programmed with negativity from past lives or this life, with limitations to hold us back. Those limitations are there that we have to learn to get through, because if they weren't there, you know, we as spiritual beings are all connected to the divine, and we are divine beings, which could do or be anything we wanted. But because of these limitations, when you were small, somebody said you shouldn't be able to see other beings or whatever, and you hide it away, and that you lose that connection because of different fears that are brought up. But once you can see that and let it go, you can bring all this back into the power that we really are, and the fact that we are really all connected as one. But the thing is when you come to this dense reality, you know, in our higher self, we know everything. But when we get here, we're dumbed down, where we have all our memory of who and what we are forgotten. And so we're just walking around relearning this. And we, you know, the higher beings, they don't say, oh, he's having a big problem, but because they know this, we're really doing major things by being here. And we are blessed beings to all of the universe because of our devotion and giving to be here at this and on the world. But things are changing, and I see that, you know, when you go through life and something happens that really pulls your chain, so to speak, what you need to do is, instead of take it as anger and being angry, is look at it as, this person's given me a chance to learn me and learn what to get through. And when you just change that way of looking at it, it changes everything. So as you go through life, this happens in the morning, somebody cut you off or whatever, you see it as what you need to learn. What is your lesson? Because guess what? You're going to get the lessons, because they're all set for you, and it's how you accept them. And if you accept them and get through it once, they'll probably give it to you again just to see how you're going to react to it. So that's like relations. You get in a bad relationship and you finally get out of it, and then you get back in another relationship, and it happens to be exactly the same, just different faces. But when you learn how to come above it and see and take these as lessons and learn to connect with your inner self, because your inner self is your truth, and getting into that, and that's where we're at now, where we can do that. The vibrations on the planet are fine enough that we're starting to see that we are connected to the divine force, and we can bring that force through, and we can do or be anything we want. And it's time to come into that who and what we really are. And that's what's really exciting. The most thing what I really would like is if you have different things happen to you, instead of like getting all upset about it, hell, look at it. What's my lesson in there? Because they're giving you a lesson. So what are you going to do with it? So pretty neat, pretty exciting. So I just wanted to add that if I could. Thank you.
No, thank you. That's, yeah, absolutely. I think that's, well said. That's exactly what, we need to be able to focus on. And a question just came up that I guess I'm supposed to ask. So if you guys are ready for this question, and it's for all 5 of us, it's not just for our guests. So our guest last week mentioned like her theme word for the year. So I wanted to ask each of you, what is your theme word for the year? And I'll go first. My word that came up for me this year that I'm going to focus on is connection. Okay, so Emily, you want to go next?
Yes, I'm trying to remember my specific word because you put me on the spot, and I'm like, oh, I just did this with my alchemists. What was my word again? Yes, I have a word, and then I have like a sub word around there. So curious and curiosity was one of them, because here's how I kind of frame this. I think, okay, what are the energetic frequencies that I want to like program a pair of glasses with? And remember to always put these glasses on and look through the situation. And my words were curiosity and softness. And so I wanted to remind myself every time I look at a situation, whether it's my challenge, whether it's another person's challenge, whether it's the next phase of the build of my business, I want to get really curious, and I want to get really soft and gentle. And I want to put those glasses on and say, all right, when I look through this lens, what's the solution?
I love that. That's a great one. Bill, do you and the crystal have a word for this year?
Well, I'm just feeling is this universal love, and that's the whole thing. And that, in coming into that is what our true power is, because there's not problems, there's only solutions. And if we come into this universal love, it brings us into this divine consciousness, because if you fight the negative, you become the negative. But if you can stay positive and go into the love, that is as spiritual beings, that is your true power. And so the skull's saying to remember, it's time to remember. And it's also saying how important this universal love is to the planet right now, because the divine energies are coming into the earth, and it's ancient energy that's being grounded here, and it's growing, and that's the thing that it's growing with, is coming into that knowledge and truth and being ourselves. So yeah.
I love that. Beautiful. How about you, Rhonda?
Well, I've been thinking about this a lot since Jessica brought it up, because it never ever thought of it before. And the one word that kept coming to me was transformation. And I think it's transforming our perspective into that one of love makes a big difference in your life. Like stepping back and seeing, like, transforming whatever the situation is, or whatever the conflict is, or whatever anything is, or self-transformation, transforming it from the perspective of love and seeing it through the angel eyes of love, or whatever way you want to put that. But yeah, that's the one I came up with.
That's powerful. I love that. All right, T, I think you have to unmute her, Rhonda.
Oh, I'll unmute Pete. Nope,
What you got, T? What's your word?
Okay, well, my word is surrender. And this is really a positive word, that being as stubborn as I am, I'm finding out that when I actually surrender, things come to me better. You get in the flow. And instead of waiting till I'm pushed and pushed and pushed to the point where I realize I have to surrender, I'm just going to surrender all the way. I mean, it's all out there for me, right? I surrender.
I love that. That's awesome. What about you guys in our audience? What is your word for the year? We'd love to hear from you. And I think that that's pretty much it for today. I think that we're wrapping up now. Do you guys have any final words you want to share? Any words of inspiration for our audience?
You want to go first, Bill?
Okay, well, you know what it is this, each one of us have a particular gift that you can give the world, and connecting to that gift and bringing it through is the most joy you can have, and dropping all the stuff that has held you from that and coming into your true power. That's what it's all about. And you know, I work with the skull, and I haven't, but you know, I've gone through past lives and stuff, and the reason I'm here doing this is because the higher beings believe I can do it, and they've put this trust into me, and I try to follow it. I'm just regular me, but I channel the divine force and love, and that's what it's all about. So each one of you finding out who and what you are, there's nothing better. You don't have to be someone else. Just being yourself and coming and connect to it, you can follow a way that you can find your true happiness. And that's what we're trying to do here, is connect and bring our power back. So yeah.
Beautiful. I just feel really called to bring some awareness for everyone out there who finds that the Akashic Records keeps popping in your field in some way, because there's an invitation, there's a call there. I want to invite you to explore what that looks like. You know, really, when we boil it down, there's one of four reasons that the Akashic Records is going to keep popping into your field. One reason is you're stuck somewhere. Okay, you're stuck somewhere in your life that you require healing of an old pattern. This can be financially stuck, relationship bully stuck. Did I make up a word? Always a good day when that happens. You can be stuck in your mission, okay? But you're stuck somewhere. And the records will continue to pop into your field as an invitation to explore getting out of this, okay? Another reason that the records pop into your field is because you're missing the next step, and because you do not have clarity on what the next step is, it's like a cog in your wheel. And you know and you feel that there is right there in front of you a massive unfolding of opportunity, but you can't quite get to it. Okay? The third reason the records will come into your field is to activate your DNA, to bring on new skills. And this doesn't just mean skills like telepathy and lucid dreaming and commanding energy from the records. It means behaviorally how you get to show up different in your life. Not criticizing everybody so much when you go out in public, okay? You get new skills. And then what I find is we all have the capability of receiving this next kind of interaction with the records, but this is reserved for after we've done the work. But there are complete cosmic downloads, complete blueprints, complete understandings of areas where you have been stumped. I'm talking the likes of Nikola Tesla, Steve Jobs, Albert Einstein, those who have gone into the records and been able to download complete blueprints for new paradigms. And I believe that the people who come into my field to work in the legacy of the Akashic Records, as I get to come forward and create it and bring Bill and Ruben and all of these other great masters in, Rogelio and Paul, everywhere, that this is the level of people that I'm meant to work with. And also, by the way, some of you know that you're visionaries, and some of you only have a hunch that could it be me? We're finding that it's like the rise of the everyman movement the leadership that needs to be cultivated within each person is being called into this very high level of mastery right now. And I'm not going to let you get away with less than your worth or less than what you're here to do.
Love it. I love that. Thank you so much. And while we're talking about this, for our podcast listeners, where can they find you?
Whew. The AkashicAcademy.com is the hub where you can find us on the World Wide Web, and the Akashic Academy on Facebook, Instagram. I'm very accessible on Facebook. Please feel free to send me personal messages. One of the, again, the environment that is created is so important, and that requires you and I to have a physical and personal and emotional and spiritual connection where, like, I know you, and I'm not speaking in biblical terms, everybody. I'm talking about like a literal soul connection, and you're not going to be put through like knowing the numbers or being another number. I want you to feel like you can reach out and have a level of communication and connection where you're respected and known. And if you're, by the way, if you're not ready to step into this higher frequency, I do set a lot of boundaries on my time. And so don't get pissed off, please. If we have a brief interaction and you need to get ready more. But if you're ready, don't hesitate to show up in my field, because I will show up and meet you.
Perfect. I love that. What about you, Bill? Where can our podcast listeners find you?
Well, let's see. I do meditations twice a month on Facebook. They're the Mitchell-Hedges Crystal Skull Facebook page meditation group. And you can just join the group, and then the lady that takes care of that, Stephanie, will send you a link to say when to come on it. We do it, we'll have one tomorrow for the new moon, and we do one for the full moon. And with all the energies that are happening right now, this is a wonderful time to come together. But it's a way of working with people that have like minds, that want to work for the, sending out universal love to the planet. If you feel that in your heart, it'd be very, very, very happy for you to join it. So.
And the links for both Emily and Bill are in the information for this video and for the podcast. So you can just scroll down the page and click on it, and you can be taken right to there. And Bill also has the Mitchell-Hedges Crystal Skull has a YouTube channel where you can go back in if you can't be there live, and you can replay the meditations there as well. So that's
awesome. Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you so much, both of you, for being here.
I just want to say that Emily, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You're good.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to say how the work that Emily is doing is helping to really raise consciousness. And so, it's a very happy and very honored to be able to work with her and what she's doing. And I think that's what's so neat, because what she does and what I do kind of blends very well together, and we're sending out a lot of love into the world, and it's a really awesome thing. So yeah, sorry.
I love you, my friend Bill. I feel incredibly honored. You and the legacy that you bring to the Academy is like winning the lottery. Isn't it, ladies? Isn't it?
Absolutely.
Like how we've been able to grow and to cultivate connection with other power players here across the planet. And I have, like, ladies, they were seeds with me when we started this. And so it's really beautiful and a great honor for us to work with you as well. Thank you.
No, thank you.
Thank you all of you.
Yes. And thank you. Stay on. We'll be on after the broadcast.
I just have to announce the winner real quick. We have a winner that won with Rhonda, and it is, hold on, I have it right here. Monica Grande. Congratulations, you won with Rhonda. Guys, please share this out. Invite your friends. Happy New Year. Happy New Moon. And we love you all so much. And happy season 5 to us. Yay. We started season 5. So we're excited to see what this season brings. Yes.
Season 5 and 5 people on.
Perfect.
Awesome. We'll have to do the number something. Okay. Thank you, guys. We'll see you next week.